Hello everybody and welcome to the Winter War Public Test patch notes. This is the update 2.7 patch notes and it's your boy Dave here. I know something may have changed. You may or may not notice it. I'm not going to point it out. I don't want any attention drawn to it any more than there is already. Just know that we reached our fundraiser goal for Turkey Truck and we raised over $1,500. So pretty awesome to you guys. But let's go ahead and just jump right in. On November 15th, there was a public test done for the Winter War update, which will be upcoming in most likely December, but no solid dates given yet. The public test was done to showcase off the new team objective map, the new weapon, and a few balance changes. So let's go over those real quick. And I also did a little bit of testing myself to validate the patch notes. So first off, the new map, the assault on Thayic Stronghold. Now, for any of you who care about the lore, I'm one of you. The Agathians have unfortunately been losing and have been pushed back to their stronghold in the north, aka the Thayic Stronghold. And in this map, you will have the Masons attempting to finally kill the self-proclaimed king, Argon II, which is pretty cool. I played on the map. It's pretty enjoyable. You most likely won't get any gameplay on the map from me until the update actually comes out. But just know that it's a very enjoyable map to me. Lots of different avenues, and I think it really spread out the fighters pretty well. And it was overall a very cool map. The final objective, a lot of people have been saying that it's very unenjoyable or a little uninspired. And I do think that the objectives themselves are uninspired, not really very creative, like the library burning or the cannons on Bodwin, but hey, you know, the actual map is fun, and of course, graphically, it's incredible. I also like that you get to play as Argon II, much cooler VIP than any of the others. Now, the new weapon, the Quarterstaff. This is a very interesting choice. I'm already going to go off on the devs for trying to put the Quarterstaff on Crusader. I don't care that Crusader hasn't received a weapon. Quarterstaff belongs on Man-at-Arms. If you want to put it on both, fine. If you want to take it off of Man-at-Arms, not fine. Put it on him now. I know Mood said something about the Quarterstaff being a more defensive weapon. I don't know if you read the description for Crusader. It maximizes offense. They have no idea what they're doing there. This weapon needs to go on Man-at-Arms pronto uno. Or at least on poleman. I mean, it's literally a pole. Regardless, the weapon's pretty fun, has a very unique special attack that actually goes through people, which is pretty cool, especially since it's blunt. And it plays a little bit like the War Club, although a little bit slower, and it does two-shot knights with 2 heavy overheads, so very good on there. It also has a unique mechanic where it reduces the stamina consumption on block, which means that when you block an attack, you're receiving less stamina damage than normal. Very, very cool. And now, Highlander Sword, nerfed again. Could you imagine being a Highlander Sword main in these tough times? God, they need to buff the slice by like 5 damage, and then I think that'd be it. But man, I cannot imagine being a Highlander Sword user. Adjusted overall size of the weapon. Oof. God, made it even shorter? Ouch. How do they even do that? Anyway. Javelins no longer interrupt an opponent's attack when thrown. This is kind of disappointing to me, but I don't mind the change that much. I mean, javelins not being able to interrupt, I rather would have seen a minor buff to the throwing axes on Jarver than a nerf to the javelins. But like I said, I'm not really complaining. This is a fine change to me. I guess people were just annoyed that javelins could stun them. Never was an issue for me. The Katars. So they fixed some bugs with the Katars, and they also nerfed the ability for the special attack to puncture through your defenses and hit you with the second portion of it. They said they fixed an issue where the special attack second hit would be unblockable. This was not an issue. This was a feature. So clearly the balance department and the bug fix department are not on the same page whatsoever. But hey, here's your Qatar nerf. The Qatar was already probably one of, if not the worst primaries in the game, so to see it get nerfed is extremely unfortunate. No idea what they're doing there. Poleaxe is being buffed. The slash damage is increased by 5, and the heavy slash is also increased by 5. Very, very cool. I think this is a good change. Most people want to see the Poleaxe slash range be increased, not really the damage, but it's not really that big of a deal. but apparently the poleaxe and the heavy mace will now be receiving less stamina loss on block, minus 20%, which means that they will have 20% more efficient blocking compared to other weapons. Very interesting way of balancing them. I would have liked to see the poleaxe have a little bit increased damage, but I think this is a very good addition to the heavy mace. To be honest with you, it was fine where it was at, but hey, you know, this is also fine. Now, bunch of new carryables: frozen fish, leg of meat, painting, taxidermy rabbit, taxidermy deer, taxidermy bear. The taxidermy bear is quite hilarious. I actually saw someone pick it up. It's absolutely humongous. I almost thought it was a real bear, but you know, it's still very funny. New interactable objects: rope ladders and breakable ice. The breakable ice, I'm a huge fan of. It's very cool. I think that people are going to have a lot of fun falling into ice that once it breaks open, and that's going to be very fun indeed. Jabs. Fixed an issue where jab would have range inconsistencies when looking up or down. Again, this is an unfortunate reality that the devs are just not understanding how geometry works. Listen, okay? If you have wall here, and then you have a straight perpendicular line between the walls, and then you angle that line, it will not touch the other side of the wall anymore. That's simply just how geometry works. An angled line is going to have less horizontal distance than a non-angled line. So I don't know what exactly they've done, but they have made it to where when you angle your jab at an angle, probably most likely aiming down because somebody is crouching, then it will be easier to land that hit. Now, they did not change it drastically, but it's just enough to make it much easier to hit somebody when they're crouching. Hopefully this does not affect matrix dodging too much, because let's be honest, matrix dodging jabs is a legitimate strategy, and so I would hate to see high-level play nerfed even further. Increased jab timeout when inputted out of a deflected state, such as when being countered. This is a fine change by me. I rather not have it made, but I do not have an issue with it. And it's basically going to make it a lot harder to gamble your jab through counters and also quick riposts or delayed riposts. Hit regulation on jabs is noticed to be inconsistent, especially when jabbing someone who is crouched when it feels like it should have hit. Yeah, you see, this is simply just respectfully a skill issue. If you jab somebody who's crouched, your jab it is not long enough, and so you have to crouch to get down to their level so you can bring your jab closer to them. It's simply just physics. It's unfortunate that we have to neuter the game mechanics to accommodate somebody who literally can't reach somebody when they're crouching. You just can't. You need to crouch as well. We all know this, but unfortunately, changes are being made. I've kindly asked them to put it on a test server so we can at least play around with it before determining whether it belongs in the live game. They've denied me and rejected that request. It's truly sad, but there's nothing we can do about that. Anyway, horses had tons of bugs fixed. I did not bother testing any of these. Pavis had its texture fixed. Cool. Throwables, tons of fixes. General fixes. Performance and crash fixes. Animation fixes. UI fixes. And adjustments. Very tiny adjustments that won't really change the majority of gameplay. And the join game button is now fixed. You still can't join people when they're in matchmaking servers, but when they're in server browser servers, you should be able to join them now. That's going to be pretty good. So I'm very happy about that, although I do wish I could join people when they're in matchmaking servers. And further improvements made to prevent VIPs from getting vote kicked. No idea what this means, but whatever. And that is the entire patch. I'm extremely excited to play around with this stuff. So let me know what you all think. If you would like to see the guide that I recently put out on Officer, check that out below. I feel like it's a pretty fun video, and the Devastator subclass guide should be out when this update is out. So all of you have a wonderful rest of your day, and goodbye.